Welcome back to the Bulletproof Podcast, the Bulletproof Mindset and Depression Support Podcast. My name is Gary Clinton. I go by Gary Coach Clinton. This is chapter 7 of the Never Give Up book, should I say. In this, I am going to talk to you, hopefully a short episode. I am drained from my training, and I'm going to give you my best that I can. Hopefully I won't expand on too many ideas. I don't know if I expanded too much on the last episode, or the chapter was very, very big. But in this episode, chapter 8, sushi is serious. Yeah, it's a word I can't say beginning with S, based off platforms like nowadays. Unaliving oneself is serious. Make no joke about it. Unaliving oneself is serious. Chapter 8. Here we go. Or chapter 7, should I say? Okay. Why is it serious? I'm going to change the word for SU. The unaliving self. I'm going to use unaliving throughout this chapter. Okay. Here we go. Well, why is unaliving oneself serious? Many reasons, but I would start off by saying if you make a joke of it and that's your way of coping, cool, no problem. Have fun. Been there, done that. I now suffer the jokes. When I completed a couple of unaliving oneself prevention courses, the message was to tell anyone who was having unaliving ideation that unaliving is serious. It's very weird to say unaliving instead of the word, as in, just have to have to get the processors working in the own mind for a second. Okay. So yes, if you feel unaliving and you have potential and you potentially know me from growing up, reach out to me at garycoachclinton at gmail.com. garycoachclinton@gmail.com. Or if you don't know me and are battling with unaliving ideation, reach out to me. Yeah, you see that? Both segue from the book. Both people, if you know me or you don't know me, reach out to me. Yeah, get support. You reach out to someone else. Reach out to a professional. Yeah, if you really want a quote unquote accredited, segue from the book, accredited to the letter, to the T, a person who has gone through 4 years of hard graft of college, but yet is clearly depressed and has a terrible life as well. I'm just saying the certificates don't prove anything to me in many ways, but congratulations on getting them if you have done. Continuous learning is very important for myself. Okay, back to the book. Maybe you don't feel comfortable reaching out to me, then reach out to your local health center, medical health services. Get help. I'll let you know there is help available. Unaliving oneself is the third leading cause of death in teenagers and second amongst college students. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. I think it's also the first unaliving oneself, segue from the book. I think it's the first under the age of, for people of 35 or 45, it is the number one way men are dying. Okay. This is an amazing quote I heard from a dear friend of mine. I love that and I still use it now. Go for it. That's not advice you tend to give someone when they're thinking about unaliving themselves or have unaliving ideation. That's not the message I'm getting across. The message I want to get across to you is reaching out for help. Go for it. Because you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, it will be confidential. I don't want to segue from the book. And by the way, if you're contemplating getting out for help, yeah, it is ridiculous to think the mind plays tricks on us. We all know that. Think of an example where you pull out your phone. When you pull out your phone, your mind starts going, put your phone away, you weirdo. I'm saying pull out your phone to take a selfie in public when you're walking down the road. Your mind just goes, what are you doing? Stop being a weirdo, put your phone away. Oh, everybody's looking. Your mind, it's a pattern. Yeah, it's a normal thing. So when you say, oh, I think I might get help, and then your mind goes, don't get help. You don't need help. It's not a good idea to get help. That is exactly the same situation where your mind's just giving you the wrong signals, the wrong thoughts, the wrong ideas. And I say wrong, and I don't like to judge things as right or wrong, particularly around thoughts. But I would say if you're depressed, feeling unaliving, if you want to unalive yourself, or at least you have a thought of that, I don't know if you want to do that. The whispers of the mind that says don't get help is wrong. I would go with that belief. So I think it's ridiculous if you don't reach out for help, by the way. Okay, I think it was genuinely insanity if you don't reach out for help and you're feeling like you want to unalive yourself. All right, let the record be shown. I want you to get help. I don't want to see you suffer. Back to the book. I sure hope you don't want to suffer either. You must make a committed decision that has to change, that you have to change, that this has to change. And change for the better, because if you're stuck down in the dumps, it isn't helping the people around you. In fact, it brings distress. How long will you wait to make this decision? How long will you listen to the dark spirit for? Dark spirit, again, it in chapter 2 chapters ago, or the last chapter, last chapter maybe, we talked about this it spirit. And spirit is just a word. It, right? Think of the angel of the devil on a shoulder. Think of a demon. Think of a mystical entity. Think of something that isn't, segue from the book a little bit. So think of a mystical thing. That, whatever you want to call it, is a dark thing. And that thing right there haunts people. Haunts people. Okay? Haunted me when I was down in them times. Back to the book. Eventually it'll make you do crazy things, such as go an extra step and do something drastic. In my eyes, it's a decision you must make. You must be fed up with the feelings of being down in the dumps, or you will come to some hard realizations about the world. I mean, hard realizations like everything is pointless, so why bother? You thinking you'd be better off with anyone else is another one. Or the world isn't revolving around me. That's one I thought. You're not as important to the outside world as you think. Your friends do hate your nasty behaviors, like doing drugs and alcohol each week. And yet, and probably the biggest of all, you created this and kept yourself down in the dumps the whole time. And segue from the book, that can have a lot of pushback from a lot of people, professionals. That can have a lot of pushback from them. A pushback that you created this. And segue from the book continuously, and I have to make a point on this, that you did create this. If you're in depression, I believe you created this. And I'm more than happy to change this viewpoint. Very much more than happy to change this viewpoint. And I'm not talking about exceptions here. I'm talking in general. In general, you did create your depression. Because it's never the event. It's never the thing, the place, the person. It's never that. It is your perceptions of the event, your beliefs of the event. And think of this even from a never mind a negative event. Let's switch channel for a second. If something happens, whatever it happens, it literally depends on your beliefs, how you react to that. If a good thing happens, your belief around this is a good thing, and you celebrate it or you don't celebrate it. It's a bad thing, then you react to it in a different way, or you react to it that way. It's an instantaneous thing. It's something that you don't even have much control of. Right? You don't have a lot of control of these instantaneous emotions that spark up. So this thing, event, place, person, trauma comes up in your life. I said I wasn't going to go on too much rants. If this thing comes up in your life, your viewpoint of this is clinical. It's critical, in fact. And I was doing this with a client recently. They think they're not smart enough to do their college course. And I'm telling them, did they come up with that thought? They came up with, I'm not smart enough. They invented that thought, did they? No. It was a passing thought. They clung onto that thought. And therefore now it's became the reality because they've clung onto it so much. Oh, please, please, please. The fact that you cling onto this thought that you are terrible, or some of them realizations, the world isn't revolving around you, or you created this, the fact that you cling onto that, or someone clings onto a thought that is negative, the more you hold on to that, the more it becomes who you are. You are blending your identity with this concoction of depression, or this concoction of whatever has happened, whatever thought you've clung on to. If you don't, segue from the book as well, if you don't believe you have created this, you are in a disadvantage. Because if you do believe you created it, you can get out of it. If you don't believe you created it, you're going to be living on the edge of, oh my God, let's say you did get out of it. What if it comes back? How do I stop it from coming back? I don't know how to stop it from coming back. It's randomly, it happens. And these things I don't believe are random. I really don't. I just cannot accept the fact that they're random. I don't want to accept the fact that it's random. I want to know that I'm in control. And I'm not saying being in control of everything. Things will happen. Parents will pass. Uh, Negative ass things are going to happen in life. Negative ass things. But for all those things to happen, there is a clear mindset that you can have, and it can be a defeating mindset or it can be a positive mindset. Your parents could pass away in a boating accident, and you might have survivor guilt, or you might have gratitude, appreciation. It's down to you. That's not down to anyone else. That's down to your core beliefs, your core values. I can't get into your mind and change your two parents dying was the best thing or the worst thing to you in your life. I can't do that. So therefore, you have a perception that is holding you back. You have a mindset that's holding you back. And if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. My client could have said, no, Gary, look, I'm not smart enough for these. Yeah, I must have created this because I thought about it. It must have been my thought. Well, if he fought for that, he will get to keep that. And people in depression do fight for their limitations, which is a sad reality. It's a sad thing. It really is. It really is a sad, sad thing. People in woke culture fight for the limitations as well. It's a fascinating thing. You fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. Let's go back to the book. You're the one who can save you. You're the one who can get help, support, and work with them. You're the one who reaches out, which is advisable. As you're the average of your 5 friends of who you surround yourself with, yeah, exclamation mark there, it's a little segue from the book, exclamation, you surround yourself with. Back to the book. If you surround yourself with someone who's helping you, you help you. If you surround yourself with someone who is helpful, you are helping you. If you surround yourself with someone who is depressing, you are depressing you. If you can get, let's say you even can't, let's say I agree with the argument that you can't control depression. Segue from the book. You can have a vote. Let's say you can't control 100%. There's just factors out there that you can't control. Right? But you have a vote. And what I mean by that is, if you do 80% of the things, you're probably on your way out of depression. And let's say you're in depression right now. Probably, right? Maybe. That's not a matter of you to go, oh my God, I created this. No, the point is, the awareness is, I can change this. Yeah, it's not to go, oh my God, this is terrible. The point is, it's a revelation for you to change. Or let's say you didn't even create it. If I even agree that you didn't create it, let's say I go with that argument. Let's say all these people passed away and you didn't think that these things were going to pass away or these negative things were going to happen. So now you're depressed, right? It's happened 3, 4, 5, 15 years ago and now you're depressed. It is now your time to take back control. You are in control of where you go forward, right? I can accept that. Maybe you don't know why it happened, how it happened, but you are completely in control of where it goes from here. Let's pick it back to the book. I want you to really think about your why you created this experience. I mean, if you think about a car crash long enough, you're going to have one. If you think you're going to be late, you're going to be late. If you constantly think in negative terms, you're going to get negative results. Segue from the book, let me go off here for a second. If you think you're going to get an email that says this and this, you're more likely going to get it. If you think you're going to have a bill show up in your post, you're more likely going to happen. If you think your car is going to break down, you're more likely going to happen. No statistical data, no factual data I'm giving you out there. So don't take that, what I've just said, to the letter, to the exact. That is a common belief, I believe, in people in terms of spiritual or new age laws. That I think, therefore I am, or if I, where the focus goes, energy flows, right? We talk about focus goes, energy flows is a common sentence. So if I focus on something going wrong, I am bringing the something wrong into my life and energy into my life. So I would say likelihood that if you focus on a bill, an email, a thing, an interaction, then things are more likely going to come into your life. 100% of the time, no way. More than likely, yes. Back to the book. You need to take control of your life. It's yours, not others. Although they play a big part in it, You have to get yourself up in the morning or snooze your alarm. You have the rise for depression or let it stop you. You can feel bad for yourself and think that the world will just magically make your life better for you. Like make your life better, or I have to create. Let me just read that again. Let me just read that again. Thank God this isn't on audible. I'd have to record this 50 times, and I wouldn't like to do that. You can feel bad for yourself and think that the world will just magically make your life better, or you have to create a life. Think of the power you have when you take full responsibility of your life. I mean, if I was late to a meeting, that's my fault. I could have left earlier. The traffic was bad. My fault. I should have left earlier. If someone died in my family, oops, my fault. That's a strange thought. Segue from the book. That's a strange thought. Someone passed away, my fault. Extreme Ownership is a book by Jocko Willink. The thought isn't a matter of, oh, you killed the person. The thought is, I'm responsible for where I go from this point on. I'm not responsible for their death. They are dead. I am now responsible for how and where I go from this. Yeah. Didn't get the personal best? Too bad. You didn't train hard enough. I'm not where I want to be? You're right. You've got 30 hours a week on Netflix and TV alone. What changes are you going to make to yourself so you can be a better example to yourself, to your mom, to your dad, to your family, and to your friends, to your future partner, to your future relationships, your future kids? I mean, come on. What are you snoozing for? You've got a chance to make a dream a reality here. And you want to give it up at 18. You want to stop at 25. You want to lay low in your 40s. You've got another 40 years at 40 years old, right? So why are you quitting? Not going for it. Not reaching out to people that can help you. And if you're fixated on being down in the dumps, it's immensely hard to help you. Segue from the book, it's just, if you are fixated on being down in the dumps, it's immensely hard to help you. If you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. Back to the book. I'm sure doctors and mental health professionals would agree. I mean, if you don't want to change, which I don't believe actually anyone does, segue from the book, I don't believe anyone actually doesn't want to change. But I just think they're so locked into the mindset that this is the only way life is. I can't change. I don't know how to change. I don't know what to do. These thoughts, you don't need to cling on to them. Let them go. Let them go. The thoughts of, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to change. I'm going to be depressed forever. If you fight for these limiting beliefs, you will have them for the rest of your life. Stop fighting for your limitations. You get to keep them. I ain't going to dispute you if you're so rigid. I ain't going to help you. I can't help you. If you're so focused on your beliefs that this is XYZ, I can't help you with that. If you're so focused on it's never going to get better. If that's a core belief of yours, I cannot help you change that because you're not even open to the possibility of change. Now, it's my role to ask you questions, thoughts, give you a different analogies, stories, and examples of how it clearly can get better. But if you still, at the end of all them things, go, no, it ain't going to get better. You have snookered yourself. You have put the roadblocks in front of you. Yeah, you have to take control of you. Again, this is what the chapter's saying. The chapter's saying you are responsible for this depression. This isn't a common, acceptable norm. People don't want to hear it because it hurts their feelings. But now you can move forward. I'm not saying you're responsible for it. I'm saying you're responsible right now to change it. Don't fight for your limitations. Let's get back to the book. And if no one cares, that includes you. You're someone. Okay, let me go back up with another line here. I mean, if you don't want to change, and the help is there, and you can't say to yourself that no one cares. And if no one cares, that includes you. You don't care. You're someone. Take care of yourself. Take responsibility for all the wrong you did and all the right you did. Take control of your life and step up. It's not going to happen overnight. Segue from the book, this is an interesting thought. It's not going to happen overnight. And this is true. You've got past paradigms, ideologies, beliefs, systems of operating in the world. You've got literally your eyes, your perceptions of things are the way they are now. You ain't gonna change a habit like this. And it's such a cliche, but it's so true. So don't expect you to fail. You're gonna fail in a week. But that's not a time for you to go, oh, that's a time for you to go, okay, I failed, I slipped back, let's go again. You need to keep going. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail because you've got paradigms, beliefs, you're gonna slip up, but recognize that and go, okay, this is just me moving forward. If you keep doing it, if you keep messing up, you're just falling back into the patterns and you're creating a new pattern, in fact, a pattern of failing. Let's go back to the book. It could happen over a week, a month, a year. It's a state of mind. You'll come to some hard realization sooner or later too. And hey, maybe this will be good for you, because they were some of the realizations I came to, like the ones I mentioned earlier. Is it a state of mind? Question mark. In simple answer, yes. Level up, dude. Speaking in terms of earlier diagram I did, go up levels, and I showed you that on the YouTube channel on episode 3, I believe, chapter 3 of moving up the ranks, maybe chapter 4, I believe. Moving up the ranks, moving up the ideologies, the mindset, the frequencies. Should have said this frequent, segue from the book, but back on it. Become a better you. Question: who do I need to become? Yeah, who do I need to become? Because where you are now is more likely not where you want to be, right? Pause for a second. Listen to what I said. Where you are now is more likely not where you want to be. How much people do you think in the world are living with that ideology? They're not where they want to be. Nothing wrong with it, but if you keep thinking about that process, you're never ever going to be there. And in fact, you're just reinforcing the fact that you're not where you want to be. There is conversation that is to say, striving. It's good to strive, but you're always. But then back to the original point, you're never going to feel fulfilled. You're never going to feel happy because you're always pushing the stick. You're always going, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where So you are where you want to be. And we know we are where we want to be because you've done a certain amount of work up until this point to make sure you're there. You've had these conversations. You've interacted with these people. You've done these things. So you actually are where you want to be, because you wouldn't be somewhere else where you don't want to be. You are exactly right there because you've done the things you've wanted to do. You're in your body weight there. You're in because you wanted to eat a certain amount of food. You wanted to do a certain amount of exercise in that time, right? So you are where you want to be, but most people think they're not where they want to be. And it's also good to have a bit of desire to get out of them things. So back to the book. Or is it more than likely not what you're settling for? Don't worry. Okay, but let me just... Because where you are now is more than likely where you not want to be, right? Or is it more likely what you're not settling for? Don't worry. I think it's a common practice not to be where we want to be. In the next chapter, I'll speak about goals and coming up on them short. I cannot underestimate the power of the mind. I cannot tell you how powerful it is. You just can't put a scale of 1 to 10 of how amazingly powerful, unfortunate, and fortunate it is. You're using it to your advantage or disadvantage. There is not much trying involved in recovering from depression. It's more doing than anything. There is not much trying involved in recovery from depression. It's much more doing than anything. And this is a common thing around people that stay away from the book. People in depression try. Pick up this book that I'm holding in my hands. Try pick up the book. You can't try pick up the book. Yeah, see, the thing with depression is you try something, then because you give it a half-assed effort, which is normal of a depressed person. You have high functioning depression too, but that's not what I'm talking about here. Because you go in with the perception that, I'll try. You give it a half-assed effort. It doesn't work. Reinforces the fact that you're depressed. And reinforces the fact it's not good enough. It didn't work. And you're trapped still. It's a problem about depression. It's one of a vast amount of problems of depression. Okay, back to the book. It's much more doing than anything. Try read this book. You either do or do not. Try take this pen. You're either going to or not going to. I'm going to try to be successful. Well, you either will be or you won't be. What is it going to be? Down in the dumps or enough is enough and I'm sick of feeling down. I need to change. And the only constant in the world is change itself. How long will you wait? What are you waiting for? Seriously, it's nuts to see people post on social media like, I'm always feeling down or life's shit. And then reach out. Then you reach out to them and they say, oh, all right, not bad. Oh, I'm doing good, in fact, yeah. Do you want help? No. This was an interesting one. A segue from the book when I was doing a bit of like cold outreach, reaching out to people. And it's like, you see on their story, oh, feeling terrible. It's feeling depressed. Oh, I fucking hate work. And you reach out to them and you're like, you good? You want some help? Nah, I'm good. I'm good, yeah. Oh, I'm great. What are you talking about? You just put up on your story that you weren't. Let's go back to the book. Why is this? Why do they do that? What I was just talking about. Why do they reject help from others? Well, I'll give you an idea, a good one too. If you're working out and someone new in the gym who isn't in massive shape tells you how to do some exercise, this will help. This will make you feel like a painful moment, embarrassing moment, or whatever way you take it. It's not fun. So if someone who just joined the gym tells you what to do, you will feel embarrassed. You will feel a painful moment. You'll think, what the fuck did this guy just say to me? And so let's look at asking someone who's down. And let's say it's someone who doesn't seem to be down all the time, but is usually down. Let's say you step into their room and it spirit is sitting over there in their bed and you are sitting with them as well. Now, let's say you have a conversation with Jack or Jill. Jack or Jill will become defensive straight away. Maybe even storm out of the room not to deal with this hard conversation. Why? Well, it's simple. It has whispered in their mind and told them that they're all right, that they're good, or better than others. So why do they need to talk to someone who is already good? They don't need to talk to fools, helpers. Well, it is a CUNT, basically. It being the dark spirit, that the angel that we talked about, I mean, the devil on the shoulder, or a mystical spirit, or the darkness, or the shadow, or it in this reference of this book is what I'm talking about. And you know that based off this right now. It will make you believe in that you don't think is real or is real, but it will make you feel hard realizations, which is good for you. You can remove the toxic ego from your life, beginning a better life with people who want the good for you. And let me segue from the book, because I've had this really interesting thought that if you think of it, this dark spirit that hides in the back of the mind, if we think of it as a depression or this demon or this, devil, or whatever analogy you want to use, it's sitting over there in the corner of the room. And my phone's disconnected. It's sitting over there in the corner of the room. And with that being in the corner of the room, it doesn't want to be seen by anyone else apart from you. So when someone walks out of the room, they come back into your mind. They start whispering in this, you're okay, you're all right. Just keep scrolling, block out the world and don't reply to your friends. It's good. That's it. That is the it thing. Now, it doesn't want to actually be seen. So when you have a conversation with someone like, a coach or myself, or you have a conversation with a professional like a therapist, these shine a light on it, and it doesn't like to be shown a light on. So when we shine a light on it, it almost like you burn a hole through it. And when you burn a hole through it, that's kind of a paradigm. That's a belief. That's an idea. What I'm saying is limitations don't like to be viewed. They like to be in the back of the mind. But when you when you hold a light on them, they get scared. And that's a hard realization when you look at a belief, a limiting belief, you shine a light on it, and it's just like caught. It's like a deer in the headlight. It's just like, and there was a penny drop. The penny drops, the hard realization comes in, and you can move forward onto a different belief, a different ideology, paradigm, whatever you want to go onto. So I think it's a very interesting thing when we talk about it. I'm in a room with you, you're in a room. It's not here to be seen. Once we go out of the room, it takes over the room. And we know this with people with depression and people that want to unalive themselves. We know this. We've seen videos of people who were laughing and joking 6 hours before they unalive themselves. So it wasn't in the room when we were talking about it being the demon, the devil, this dark spirit, or whatever, the identity, whatever you want to call it as. It wasn't in there when we had our conversation. We were having our party, we were having our fun. Later on that night, it was screaming in the back of their mind, unalive yourself, unalive yourself. They believed it, they listened, and they did it. It's terrible, sad news. So it doesn't like to be shown a light on, and when it is, it runs as far as possible. So if we can pin it down, we can break that belief down, and we can slap it across its face and get it out of here, yeah? Get it out of the mind. Back to the book. I mean, what would I get from someone who is down constantly? At some stage, it's going to be hard for someone like me to be with you if you feel this way. What I'm saying there is, so if someone's depressed, you segue from the book, put yourself in a room of 5 depressed people, and I'm literally saying 8 hours a day and for 30 days. You put yourself in a room of people who are depressed 5 hours a day for 30 days. Let's see what happens. Because at the end of the time, you're going to feel miserable. You can be happy, jolly as much as you want. You make a joke, you try to cheer them up. They'll say, I don't like that joke. That's offensive. I don't like that joke. That's offensive. It's now becoming a laughable phrase. Okay, back to the book. At some stage, not when I meet you, but if it continues over months and years, this will be demoralizing. Especially if I believe you've created this and you're not helping yourself. Especially if I believe I become those who I surround myself with. And if I surround myself with you and you're depressed, ... And it would add even more annoyance if you said you've tried everything. I don't believe it. Have you researched all the possible ways? Have you exhausted all the possible routes? Have you reached out to each person who's been down the road, down your road? You have not. You have not tried every single possible combination to become a better you. So that is why I would be frustrated to hang around with someone who's depressed when they hold on to their limitations, and their limitation being, I've tried everything. Have you ever heard people say that sentence? You just want to just mentally, you're just going there like, what are you lying for? You haven't tried everything. It's if you hold on to your limitations, if you defend your limitations, you get to keep them. I ain't gonna have a conversation continuing on with that. I'll laugh and I'll tell them seriously. Stop lying. Every time. I don't care who it is. Genuinely, that is such a sentence I really don't like. I've tried everything. No, you haven't. You know you haven't. Why are you lying to me? Why are you putting cover smoke in front of us? It doesn't make any sense. You're cheating yourself out of vulnerability, out of honesty, out of factual, out of truth. Back to the book. You've not tried every single possible combination to become a better you. Be a happier, funnier, fitter, better looking, depression-free person. It is most likely on you to get some help that is needed for you. Say you were down in the dumps and you put the book down and you feel bad for yourself. What's going to change? The weather for sure. You probably not. Use google.com to your advantage. Put some hours into recovering from depression. Type that in. You're staying away from it. The more hours, the better you become. We know this. Segue from the book. We know this for anything. The more hours you put into something, the better you get. The more hours you put into something, the better you get. People who are depressed have put in 10,000 hours. That's not that's an exaggeration, 10,000 hours, but they've put in their hours for depression, and they've done actions aligned with that. Lie on the couch, eat junk food. They've had bad relationships, destroyed relationships, pushed people away. Common things. That is bringing in this it that we talked about. I can't sit here and tell back to the book. I can't sit here and tell you it's all going to be all right. Life is tough. Life gives you curveballs, and you have to react. And how you react is immensely important. Life is tough, huh? ... question mark, huh? Life is amazing. ... question mark. Life is whatever you perceive it to be. Someone dies in your family and you crumble, as I did. Or you prepare for these things and then you aren't surprised when they happen, and you get the 2 a.m. call to say something bad has happened. You can deal with it and be an example, be the example in the room. I mean, do you want to be the helper or the helpless? An example or a warning? A winner or a loser? Success or a failure? It's up to you. I believe everyone is where they are because that's where they want to be, and because they have made the decisions to be there. I'm talking to every single one of you and every single one of your decisions from a young age, like 18, 16, 15, and even 25 upwards, or 14, 13. If you want to go into 14, 13, it's true, you still have made your decisions. I didn't write that, but I started around 15, 16. And if we want to go legality in age of 18, but that doesn't make any sense because what happened the day before you were 18 does that mean that magically you weren't accountable for your actions. So at some stage around the teenage years, you became more accountable. In terms of each friend they have, be a good one or a bad one from an overview, their partner they choose, the job they settle for, the hobbies they have, and the dreams they have, from the life they have, they've made each and every decision up until this point. And you need to see that it's all you with the help of people who can help you. It's all you with the help of people who can help you. I wouldn't give advice I literally haven't got knowledge on. I can't. It's up to you whether you like it or not. It's your choices to make your life better for you, for your family, for your partner, for your friends, for your future family, your future friends, your future partner, future connections. Heck, I believe you chose the family you have. Responsibility, all me. Segue from the book. I strangely believe I chose this life, this planet, this earth. This is a metaphysical belief. These aren't scientific. If I went to a scientific lab, they'd call me absolutely crazy. They wouldn't put me into a mental institution because that's kind of I wouldn't say a common belief, but it's a known belief out there that you chose your family, you chose this situation, this life to learn these lessons for a higher purpose, for a higher reasoning. Back to two more pages I got. Two more pages. Unaliving is serious. It is what it is. Suicide has devastated my life. Damn, I said the S word. I shouldn't have said it. Unaliving has devastated my life. Unaliving devastated my dad's life. Unaliving devastated my mom's, my sister's, and my family's life. One of his good friends unalived himself not long after my dad did the same. Let me rephrase that. Not long before my dad did the same. I put it is what it is at the start of this sentence because I must see the bright light. I believe that he's an angel up there in the night sky. I believe he's a good spirit who's passed on some great traits like hard work and being funny. You could say popular with over 2,000 people attending his funeral. If I recall correctly, humbling to say the least. It's hard for me to describe the feeling again without falling down the dark pit. If you are feeling unaliving, I need you to trust these words. Recovery is possible. You can get better. Let me go back to the sentence, segue from the book. It is what it is. And this is my dad passing away, and I say it is what it is. And what I mean by that, because if I went to a professional, they'd say, well, you're covering up, you're blocking yourself, it's not really what it is. Have you dealt with it? Have you gone through it? Have you all these types of things? And I don't believe I have to go through them things. I don't believe I have to quote unquote process or evolve or have these mystical experiences, connections with my dad. I don't believe I have to talk about my dad extensively to move on with my life. It is what it is. It happened. Now, do I want to see one side of the coin or the other side of the coin? And I want to see the side of the coin that's going to make me feel empowered, joyful, happy, proud that I met my dad, enjoyed my dad's company, and made friends along the way of it. That is the side of the coin I'm going to be on, and that's the side of the coin I'm going to live from. Period. I don't need to look at the other side of the coin and dwell on it for 5 hours and talk about it and feel sad and depressed and upset. I don't need to do that. I don't. And I've done it. It's done. It's done in many ways. But is it actually ever done? I don't think it actually is ever done. There is no way you can, if someone passed away, there's no way you can say that your discovery is ever undone of why they did this, how they did this, the devastation of them gone. It's never going to be done. It's always going to be there. It happened. So it is what it is. Back to the book. Thinking you don't need help could be that dark spirit telling you don't need help. Heck, it is telling you to unalive yourself. How ridiculous is that? Don't listen and immediately get help. Search google.com and then search unaliving help. Again, the S word. Various pages from your country will pop up and you'll instantly have help on the other line. At the end of this book, I will leave some numbers that could possibly help you from various countries. I apologize if I left your country's unaliving protection number out. Just recall that sentence. Recovery is possible. You can get better. And again, search on Google. You will find the numbers. Did you know you're twice as likely to have unaliving ideation if you're in debt? That means if you're up against it, get it? If you're up against it, screw it. It is what it is. You can recover for your finances and prosper, but you have got to do the math. You've got to get some plan and get it together. You have to live off the bare minimums, some beans and rice for the meantime. And segue from the book, listen to this. It's very obvious when you think about it. If 6 people in my family unalive themselves, I am obviously going to have thoughts of it. It is going to be a demon, a devil, a darkness that's going to be in my life. It is something that's in my life. I don't think about it now, but I could go through phases of it. And everyone thinks about it when we look over a balcony. Everyone thinks about it. Everyone thinks, what if I jump? Or how would it feel if I jump? Or we have the feeling of air flowing past us. We have a feeling of fear looking over. Everyone has it. It's a very normal thing. So if you're stacking your cards against yourself, you're in massive debt, you've just gone through a divorce, you've just lost your parents, you've lost your kids, obviously these things are going to be absolutely negative, and unaliving oneself, the it spirit is going to be joining you for company. Misery loves company, and that sure thing, whatever that thing is, loves misery, aka that thing being depression. This is a Gary quick fix to a serious problem. Screw it, it is what it is. Something millions here face in Ireland alone. In 2018, Ireland's death was 42,000 per person in Ireland. Millions suffering. Are you willing to change? Are you willing to do this? Are you willing to do some personal finance research to help yourself and your family out? Do some financial literacy courses. Do some CBT courses, NLP courses that can help you grow yourself. Or are you just going to worry about it? Are you capable of making that change? Can you and will you? It's not possible. It's not impossible. Impossible is nothing. Look at the stories of people who have been massively in debt and turned their life around. I'm talking about millions of dollars in debt. The list would go on for ages. 50 Cent, Walt Disney, Lady Gaga, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He wasn't in millions of debt, but he was depressed. And these are extreme examples, or are they just humans too? Don't quit. Don't huff and puff. You've potentially had the same amount of opportunities as them, if not more. And you most certainly have the same amount of potential as these wonderful people from now. Do not write yourself off, ever. That is chapter 7. Unaliving oneself is serious. Of my #1 best-selling book. Never give up in the depression category. I'm here to help you. If you want some help, join the school community. Bulletproof depression support. That's the bottom link on this. You will feel joyful, happy that you've joined. Men support men, and I want to support you on this adventure and journey. It's not only just about depression, it's about mental health, it's about mindset, it's about attitude, paradigms, and then we've got advanced levels where it's more of long-term things. And what I mean by long-term, your habits and beliefs aren't going to change instantly. Belief maybe, habit no. Your finances isn't going to change instantly. You know, you invest today, it's going to come out in the future, but you've got to invest. So I'm asking you to invest in yourself. Join the Bulletproof Depression Support community. It's not only depression. The first level is depression. Level 1, all around depression. Level 2, around personal. Level 3, around growing yourself. And then goes up to level 5, but I'm not going to tell you the other two. You're going to have a sneak peek. It's on school. The Bulletproof community is waiting for you to join in. I'm more than happy to see you there. I'd love to interact with you. Maybe you can become someone who could help me out. Help me help the world. Help me change the mission, or add to the mission of the world. Eradicate depression. I would love to have some help like yourself. I would love to have you, someone who was depressed, who's come out of depression, and now you can make a mark in the world. And I don't care if you want to set up your own coaching practice, you want to help clients, and you steal clients from me, you're still doing good. You're doing great in the world. There's a bigger mission here that I'm trying to help, and I want to help you. And I hope you can help me. What I mean by that is joining the community and being an inspiration to the people that are in the community. With that being said, it's an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure to be here with you. Sponsors of this podcast is Quasi.com and upskillonline.org. You can find the descriptions of them and the links to them in the podcast. This is Gary Clinton, Gary Coach Clinton. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'll see you in the next episode, Chapter 8, Goals. Thank you.